at second base is Tinau Almatangi. Playing at first base, wearing number 3, Rebecca Bromhead. Every team needs a big hitter, and this one is Hope Weber.
I think you're going to see a lot of the girls coming out with something to prove. I mean, when we look at the pitchers, we have Tyler Morrison and we have Lauren Parker, and those two have been neck and neck. They've grown up together, they've pitched, they've always battled against one another. So both are trying to prove that they deserve to have a spot on the White Sox squad. Both teams experienced, you know, and we have some girls coming up for the juniors, so a lot of stuff to prove out there on the field.
Well, we know there's a new coaching staff around the Sky Sports White Sox squad. Roman Gabriel, the head coach there. And I guess these two teams is his greatest squad, isn't it? So it's a chance for a look-see to see what everyone's got.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, these girls know each other. They've been around for a while. Some have gone off to the States, have come back. You know, that we've been off. We've had the break. We're just coming into season, so no one really knows what they've been doing in the off season, and that includes coach. So Roman's going to be looking to see who's been doing the work in the off season and who's ready to play.
They're ready to play indeed, as you see them coming out onto the field here. They are good from top to bottom here. Brittany Thierry, one of the great up-and-coming pitchers in New Zealand stocks at the moment. So it's fantastic to see them all getting an opportunity. Jean, if we look at the strengths for the Sky Sport White Sox teams, what should we be expecting?
Well, for both teams, they have a lot of experience in their captains. We have Rebecca Bromhead for the A side, and then we have Lara Andrews for the White Sox side. So both of these players have had a lot of experience. They will know how to help their team pick up, understand what they should be looking at and what they should be doing in their game and what their goals are. So I think it's going to come from the top with the leadership, and I think we're going to see a really good display of softball here today.
Jen, tell me a little bit about the starting shortstop for New Zealand, Denver Shaw-Tate.
Denver Shaw-Tate, all right. Well, she comes from quite a pedigree of softball. Her mother and her grandmother both played as White Sox, and they have a lot of experience within that family. So she's gone away to the States. She's playing for quite a reputable coach over in the States as well, who's actually in the mix for some of the junior USA teams. So she will be having a really good opportunity to learn some key things over there. But she's back for now. I think she heads back in January over to the States. But for now, we're really lucky to have her and to see what she's learned and taken away from that time in the States.
Well, we see the Sky Sport White Sox team. They're in black tonight as the home team coming out. And boy, oh boy, their batting lineup today looks outstanding as we see the catcher coming out now, Otila Tavite coming in. Interesting thing, we see good stock up and down the country, don't we?
Absolutely, and that's what's so exciting to see is softball is now coming around again, and we're seeing strength top to bottom. And to see these girls come out and come together and be able to join forces to see what they can put on the field together, it's going to be a very exciting night.
So if we look at now, I guess we look at what some of the strengths for New Zealand A, what will they bring to the table tonight?
New Zealand A, what I'm so excited is that we're seeing a bunch of players, a handful of players that have just been on the cusp of making the team, and some who've been there and they're making their return. So you have the likes of Rebecca Bromhead, you have someone like a Hope Weber, you have up-and-comers like Denver Shaw, you have Pearl Marley and Ashley Scott. So these players are really people to keep an eye on because they have been there or thereabouts, and they are just on the cusp of making that squad. And so they're going to be stepping up today because they're going to want to prove themselves, and they have a lot to add. So this is their shot.
Jen, when we come back after the national anthem, I want to ask you about your experience going to a World Cup for New Zealand and what type of pressures that involves. And we'll come back to that. But of course, first, one of the great traditions in New Zealand sport is the great national anthem. It's played before it. As everyone will stand to attention. Jen, one thing I've got to ask your mind, when you're standing out there waiting for the national anthem to play, what does that feel like?
That's when the adrenaline starts going. You start getting yourself in that frame of mind, ready to go, and thinking about your job that's coming up right away, right after that song finishes.
I know they're not doing the Haka tonight, Jen, but what's that like? What do you think the opposition feels?
Well, we'll come back to that after the national anthem, shall we?
It's not far away. They're getting it ready.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
But when you look in the eye of the opposition when you're doing the Haka,
Yeah.
what do you think they're feeling?
Oh, we've had a variety of responses, but everything we've had, people have been really respectful about it. But some of them say it is very intimidating when you have the likes of someone like Eli Andrews or Palace Potter up there eyeballing you. It is very intimidating for them, and it sets the tone from the very beginning that New Zealand's coming out, we're ready to play, and we're going to show you what we have. We
see the officials on the screen there. Annie McManus, with the one with the mask under his arm, he'll be calling the balls and strike. Robbie Sadgrove will be at first base. Mark Porteous, our astute North Harbour umpire that'll go away to the Olympics next year in Tokyo. He'll be at second. John Hickman, a.k.a. Santa Claus, gets the start at 3. The ground announcer couldn't get the national anthem playing, so what happens? The girls will just sing it themselves.
That was absolutely brilliant. That's what makes this game special. And the girls out there ready to go, arm in arm, and why not? That was brilliant.
That's special indeed. And one of the other great traditions in softball is they'll come together, give each other a shake and a hug, and wish each other luck. Go past those white lines again, and then it's game on, baby.
Absolutely.
Jen, we're asking just a little bit earlier, look, preparing and then going away to a World Cup. You did that in Chiba, Japan just a couple of years back. What's that like? What's that level like?
Yeah, well, what's happening is we're finishing our New Zealand season in March, and then normally you're not going away until maybe June, July to play. So being ready to go is something that's hard to do.
Well, New Zealand A will send up Deborah Short-Tate leading off of the shortstop position. Tanio Amatangi hits 2. The captain, Rebecca Bromhead, will be hitting in the 3 spot. Hot Weber, watch out for her. She hits clean up today. Pearl Marley Waitford, she's dangerous as well. Ashley Scott will be hitting 6. Brooke Whiteman. Nalia Matangi will be hitting in the 8 spot. Erin Blackmore will round out the batting order for New Zealand A tonight. Well, the New Zealand flag is flying, and it's the New Zealand Sky Sports White Sox team that will take the field first. Let's set their fielding lineup for you. It'll be Michaela Lewin, Miriam Mamaki, and Narissa McDowd left to right in the outfield. Hot corner will be the captain, Lara Andrews. Michaela Whitty, who will get the start at shortstop. Ashley Johnson from Hutt Valley, she's at second base. Lucy McIntyre is at first. Otila Tavite will be the starting catcher for the girl on screen now from right here in Auckland, Tyler Morrison on the hill.
Yes, Tyler Morrison, again, a pitcher. She's going to pitch up, down, and change. Those are going to be her main pitches. She does have screwball, and she works some other pitches, curveball and some other pitches, but she's going to throw in the mid-90s. And today she's really going to be working on those top 3 pitches, rise, drop, and change, to see what she can do with those 3 today.
She's got a full toolbox, does Morrison on the hill. And she'll need them all. We just showed you that batting lineup for New Zealand A. They are potent. Really excited to see what this Short-Tate does first in the leadoff spot. I've heard so much good things about her. I've seen a lot of good things about her. But it's a chance now, I guess, with COVID, getting to see all of those international players playing back in New Zealand.
Yes, it's really good to have everybody back. It's not often that we have everyone here in New Zealand to play, and that's an extra challenge. So we were talking earlier about going away and playing the World Championships, and you have a break and you have some downtime, and often you come together as a team just before tour, and you have a week or two to prepare.
Here we go. Game 4. Morrison will throw to Shorte. Riseball up top. Leads this one off. Pulls that one through the zone. See Morrison using 2 different quadrants of the strike zone early in as well. Just misses inside on that low lifter, Jen.
Well, those are hard to see as a pitcher when you know you're getting close, and and that's what you're trying to do early. You're trying to establish the strike zone, work out what the umpire's calling, what they're seeing, and that looked like a really close call. So she'll keep that in the back of her head for later when she needs that strike.
There's a low lifter on the hands a little though, and it'll be Ashley Johnson will take that one for the first out. Tennille Omatangi, the opposition second baseman, first left-handed batter we've seen all day today.
True. Yeah, lefties are a commodity in the sport, and you'll see more and more of them being developed because they are just that much closer to first base. Also, they have more tools. They can put the ball, drop it and run. They can hard slap the ball. They can hit for power. And also, when you're thinking righty pitchers, lefty batters, you now have to come across the plate and pitch into their zone, so it is harder.
We're going to come inside this time. Little change of pace. She drops it down. Look how quick she is. They're just not quick enough for the sharp arm from Lara Andrews at third base.
And that's that soft slap that we were talking about as a lefty. All you have to do is stick out that bat, but you have to have really good control and know what your goal is before you're attacking that pitch. So she would have gone into that at-bat knowing exactly what she wanted to do and what pitch she was looking for.
Perfectly executed by Omatangi. Just a good defensive play from Andrews keeps her off the base path. I'll hand over the baton or the bat to the captain now, Rebecca Bromhead.
Rebecca Bromhead here, a batter you have to be careful with, always going out, has a game plan, very strong mental game. And you'll see the number on her shirt, number 13, is a number that she wears. Not only is it my old number, so I'm a bit biased, but it is one of her mentors and best friends, Sina Hunkin. So, and Sina and Donnie, obviously, being very close with Rebecca, but also helping her with that mental side of the game.
Interesting you mentioned Donnie Hale, the husband of Sina, here, and a reflection of that number. Donnie, of course, one of the coaching staff from management within the Sky Sports White Sox team. Obviously must be away at this point. Great play by the catcher. Wow, extension to the fingertip by Tila Tavite records the third out of the innings.
Well done. That is what catchers dream of, being able to hop out of that crouch, get up and make that play, because that could be a difference. That could be a game changer right there. So well done to Attila.
Well, plenty of high fives for Attila as she heads back to the dugout. It's a clean slate for the Sky Sport White Sox team. New Zealand A, 3 out, 3 down, 2 flyouts, as we'll see that athletic play by the catcher.
Again, well done. And you see that looked, by watching Tyla again, that looked like it was an off-speed pitch. So here's the thing. These players know each other. They play season in and out, so they know where to attack them, what is going to be an effective pitch. So they're going to be really challenging one another. But at the same time, the batters know what the pitchers throw.
Well, outstanding. We'll see what the pitcher's going to throw against this lineup for the Sky Sport White Sox team. Mariama Markey at the top of the shop there. Michaela Wedehiko, Lara Andrews, and Tanisha Hokoma. 1-4 there, strong in the last game as well. Lucy McIntyre, Tila Tavite inserted in the 5 and 6. Ashley Johnson gets to start. It's hitting 7. Michaela Lewin, and then Narissa McDowell She was outstanding in the 9th spot for New Zealand in the first match.
Yes, last game she hit that ball down that right field line, and that again is a really key position to be hitting a ball. You want to hit behind the runners, and that's going to allow you to get to those extra bases as well. So that was a really key hit for her and a way for her to step up and show what she can do.
And we see Lauren Parker, the Auckland native, warming up here to start for New Zealand A. The rest of the defence behind her, Nanaya Matangi will be at left field, Aaron Blackmore at centre, Brooke Whiteman will get the start at right field. Pearl Marley Waitford will get the start in the hot corner. Denver Short Tate's at shortstop. Taniolo Matangi's at second base. Rebecca Bromhead, we mentioned the captain, should be marshalling at first. Ashley Scott behind the dish, but it is Lauren Parker on the hill.
Yes, Lauren Parker, again, throwing in the mid to higher 90s here, so a little bit faster. Her drop ball is really her bread and butter. She's throwing a little bit of a curveball and a changeup, so we'll see what she's working today against these New Zealand White Sox batters.
So another pitcher with a full toolbox here. She'll look to go to work. First pitch, face her will be Miriam Amakia. And hard drop ball, as you see it, Jen, right there on the corner for the first strike.
Yeah, and Lauren's in a tough spot. She's coming up to face Mariana Macchia, and that is a really strong batter out of the gate. So Lauren has to come out. She has to be prepared before she steps on the mound and sort of pitch those innings in those warm-ups so she's prepared to come out strong.
Good start, so critical when it comes to the game of softball, Jen.
Oh, absolutely. You can lose a game in the first couple of pitches, so it's really imperative that you're warm and ready to go and you mentally go through those batters. Lauren has a slight advantage. She got to watch Tyler pitch, so she was able to see where that strike zone was. You can't see that much over on the side, but your batters can come back to the dugout and say, hey, this is what I'm seeing, and this is what the umpire seems to be giving. But that as we go throughout the game, that strike zone will establish a bit more.
Nice pitch at the bottom of the zone. Maybe a little something off. 59 on the radar gun.
What's great about Lauren is her speeds do vary, and she has that wobble in her pitch. So when that ball's spinning properly, you can get that ball to kick. So sometimes it's not necessarily all about speed. It's about spin as well. Really seems to be working that curveball, really wanting to go away from Mariana, because when you see Maids, you want to keep the ball away from a strong batter. So that's exactly what she's doing. She's trying to get her to reach out, fish, and put the bat on the ball and miss hit. When you think about it, you've got a round thing trying to hit a round thing, moving in opposite directions, right? It's not easy.
Not easy indeed. It's not an easy play either for the shortstop. Couple of hopper. The last hop looked a little tough to take, but Denver Short Tate took care of business.
And one thing that's really important, this field, you have to know your terrain, right? So in New Zealand, we have a lot of mix. We have some dirt diamonds, we have some skin, turf diamonds. So this one in particular, you have some soft spots and you have some harder spots. So it's really hard to adjust, and you really have to be ready for anything coming at you.
Stay down, be on your toes. Michaela Wirihiko now. First pitch down Main Street. It's great to have you along here on Sky Sport 9. The home of sport, Sky Sport, for this White Sox Tri-Series. 2 matches yesterday between New Zealand A and the Junior White Sox. New Zealand A getting up in both of those matches. This now their 3rd match of the tournament.
And what a great preparation for the Junior White Sox, right? They get to play against their role models, you know, the girls that they're aspiring to be. So what a great opportunity to be challenged.
Off the back footer level, and Short Tate will be straight underneath this one. Record the second out. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the first innings. Well, they talk about inspirational captains, and you'll go down Richie McCaw for the All Blacks, and you name them across different codes. Laurie Andrews is definitely one of those, isn't she, for the New Zealand side?
Lara is someone who will walk that talk. She will step up. She says, you know, I am here. I'm going to do my job. This is what I'm going to do. And she is someone who will do her job every time.
Little change of pace, looking to poke it the other way. And she does indeed, does Andrews. Rounds the corner on her skates. And a head first dive into second base. First hit of the ball game for the White Sox. And it goes to Captain Andrews.
Yeah, you see that ball go down that first base line. And it doesn't matter what part of the chalk it hits, but if it hits a blade of grass with some white on it, that's a fair ball.
You see that just bend around off the chalk line, as Jen said. Perfectly placed by Andrews. Here comes Tanisha Hokamo. Notice Lauren Parker, first pitch, just drilling it through the zone, isn't she?
And that's big because early in the game, these batters are going to want to get their eye in. So by doing that, she can attack early and get strikes early. And that's going to put her in a better position to go at these batters. Now, Lauren and Tanisha actually are teammates at home in Auckland and at Otahuhu, so they are familiar with each other, but not often face one another.
So maybe a slight wager, you think?
Ooh, maybe. I know Dad is down there somewhere for Tanisha and Mom, so I know they'll be cheering her on.
Two good athletes, two good teammates, opposing each other, going head-to-head here tonight. It's one low, one ball and two strikes that count now.
So this is a good opportunity. Also, you'll see Lara looking down at the catcher signals, trying to see if she can pick the signals so she can help her batter out.
Slow runner the other way, going to come forward. Omatungi stops it, but no chance to make that out. That is a difficult play for any second basewoman.
That is. It's a very hard play. She needs to come crashing in because when you think about that ball traveling and hopping in the air, and all you have to do, like all you can do is charge as fast as you can. But unfortunately, no play. Really good effort, but now we're runners first and third. Dangerous position for the A side here, but we'll see what happens with that gap over at second base and if Roman will choose to send Tanisha over to 2 or to hold her.
Runners in the corners here, 2 down. Lucy McIntyre. She takes the first pitch, drives it hard. Omatungi's all over this one though. Sidearms it to second for the force out, and that'll also be the third out of the innings. So we're through one complete. It is the White Sox that leave one stranded here, but they do get a runner on. Andrews does get the first hit of the ball game.
Yeah, well done for Lara, setting the pace, saying, cool, I'm here to play. And sometimes it doesn't matter what that hit looks like. Getting that hit is just breaking it open. Sometimes that's all it takes. It is all it takes. And when you're thinking about, sometimes batters go through slumps and they're not doing well, and you could be the best hitter and you can be drilling it right at players. But then all it takes is a little bloop hit, and that's all it takes to open it up. So same thing with the ball game. That's a little hit to open it up, and we should see some bats and some balls in play here.
Anyway, anyhow, get on base. That's the answer, isn't it? And New Zealand A will try their luck. It'll be Hope Weber, Pearl Marley Waitford, and Ashley Scott, 1, 2, 3. So they'll try their luck against Tyler Morrison on the hill for the Sky Sports White Sox team. Hope Weber, designated player. She's hitting for the pitcher Lauren Parker. And first pitch is just on the outer edge for a strike.
Hope here, another batter that you want to be careful with. You want to make sure you're working around the zone. As pitchers, we say painting the corners. You don't want to put it over the middle of the plate.
Trying to tease Weber in again. Doesn't bite this time. 1-1 the count. Pleasant evening here this evening. 19 degrees still at Rosedale Park. So ELE Sports Stadium. Comfortable spot to watch. Hard hit ball on the change up, but it'll go straight to the left fielder, Michaela Lewin. They'll bring up to bat a hard-hitting Pearl Marley Waitford. Boy, oh boy, in those two matches against the Junior White Sox yesterday, she had herself a day.
She did. Pearl, again, an upcoming player, went away with the juniors, spent a lot of time as the DP, but really stepped up, took the opportunity to say, look, I'm here, I can do some damage with the bat, and now she's found herself in the A side, so a player to keep an eye on.
Making the jump. This one on the hands, though, and that'll hit up to the stadium roof, so she'll get another shot at it. Well, Whiteford, well, you know one thing, when she swings the bat, there's no guessing if she's putting her energy into it, because she swings so hard, doesn't she?
She does. She is a dangerous batter, and you know she has a lot of power, so it's really important to know what those power zones are for her and where you need to place the ball. But again, dancing around the plate and trying to get her to fish at something.
Morrison says, I'll just slide it down through the zone. 1-2 the count now on Marley Whiteford. Jim, just what we see with Tyler's feet on the pitching rubber there. There's been a change to the pitching rule internationally, hasn't there? Talk us a little bit through that.
Historically, the pitcher needs to have both feet touching the rubber in some way. So normally in Tyler's case here, that would be the heel of her front foot and the toe of her back foot. But you'll see there's a bit of a gap on the mound, and that's the change of the rule.
Hard ball goes through the wicket. Sorry, Jim. Of Lara Andrews. The reason I say sorry, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Took a little bit of a funny hop, that last bounce just before Andrews at third base. And Marley Whiteford will get the benefit and head down to first base.
And that's what we were talking about before about the field and it having a rough terrain and not really knowing. And again, Pearl hitting so hard. When that ball's coming at you hot, you don't have much time to react. So Lara actually did a good job of keeping it close to her. Otherwise, that could have been extra bases.
Minimising the damage. Nicely done by the captain for New Zealand. Ashley Scott now the catcher for New Zealand A. Attempted running bunt on the first pitch, goes foul. That'll bring out home plate umpire Annie McManus to do a bit of housekeeping.
Ash, someone who's typically really strong at putting down a bunt, but when you come to a higher level, the pitcher has so much spin on the ball, so it's really important to read that ball and where that pitcher's trying to place it, because it does change where you make contact and put that bat on the ball. So it's an extra challenge when you go up a higher level.
Excellent spin on that last delivery. Jen low lifter on the inside edge. Puts Scott in the hole here. No balls and 2 strikes. Just misses the outside edge as that bends the low lifter. Levels the count 2-2. Jen, you were telling us about the benefits of being able to have the back foot off the rubber.
Absolutely. So they made that rule change right before the Olympic qualifiers, which was 2019. So with that, you can step back a bit more. It gives you a bit more balance, and it gives you more of a weight shift, so you can add a little bit more power into that pitch, rocking from that backside over to the front, and you can get that lean and that drive forward to put more behind the ball.
I think it's a good thing. And that the pitchers get a bit more of an advantage, because we've seen the technology, what it's done to the game of fast pitch softball. And these bats that these athletes are using today, and often running on a loose ball behind the catcher, couldn't find it. Taviti. And Marley Whiteford didn't notice it at first, but she did in the end and took off, didn't she?
Yes, and that's why it's so important to be heads-up base running. So it was initially under Otila, and her teammates need to be loud. They need to say under you, because what ended up happening is she turned, she was looking for it, she kicked it away, and Pearl was able to get that extra base, now in scoring position.
Fouls this one back to Scott. It's one of those things, as you see the catcher going back with a big hockey-style mask on. Sometimes that ball is like the golden goose egg, hard to find at times as you're looking around. Where is it? Where is it? It's right underneath you.
Exactly. The masks have evolved over the years, as has most of the equipment, but sometimes it's just in that blind spot.
And nicely done by Scott. He is patiently works her way through the count and earns herself a walk down to first base.
And that's something you'll see from an elite player, is they are picky. They select which pitches they swing at, and they can draw that walk.
So with one out here, New Zealand A have a prime opportunity to do some damage. They'll hand it over to the right fielder, Brooke Whiteman. Goes at the first pitch.
It's good to see Whiteman's not afraid to swing the bat, even though it is her first at-bat against Tyler tonight, but she has runners in scoring position, so she needs to make the use of every strike that comes down. So good to see her getting that bat off the shoulder, and she's ready to go.
Young Brooke Whiteman had a breakout domestic season last year. Running bunt attempt. Trying to catch them sleeping, but Morrison, the pitcher's awake to it. Makes a throw over in time, so it's a sacrifice bunt. But New Zealand A does get 2 runners in position. Scoring position, that is.
Definitely. So you have someone who's on that corner from third base. It doesn't even take a bat being put on a ball. Sometimes it's just a loose pitch. So this is a dangerous position for the White Sox. But at the same time, anything can happen.
There you go. See a high 5 as Whiteman goes out to second base, and that's because of the game of fast pitch softball with 2 outs. If the catcher is running on base, can be relieved to go back to the dugout and put the equipment on, and even that hockey-style mask, so they're ready to go for the next inning to keep the game moving quicker, isn't it?
You know what I heard? I heard that rule originated here in New Zealand,
Did it?
and that is where it came from.
Always inventive, entrepreneurial Kiwis. Why not?
Smart.
It was either that or it was a catcher that just wanted to have a rest. One of the
Yes,
two.
sometimes. Well, we'll just say it's efficiency for the sake of, you know.
It does make sense, though, doesn't it, Jen?
It does, it does.
Nanaya Maitangi. Found the goose egg this time, did Otila. Just time called here by Morrison, just making sure we're on the same page here. She knows it's important to keep this New Zealand A off the scoreboard at an early part of this match.
Exactly, and that communication. Sometimes when things, you know, seem to be going a little off, then call timeout. Why not? You know, you just make sure you're on the same page. All it takes is a timeout, reset, and come back in.
It's a team sport, softball. Officially in the stats, when a team loses, it's the pitcher that loses. Did you notice that?
It is hard sometimes, you know, and the pitcher's out there doing a lot of work, but you're only as good as the team behind you.
Exactly.
And you need your teammates to have your back. And your job as a pitcher is not to strike everyone out. It's to put the ball in play, and your teammates are there for you to make that play.
Somehow, some way, get on base. Somehow, some way, get him out. Inside just misses this Morrison. That'll load the bases here. And I tell you what, the young lady that's coming out to bat now, Erin Blackmore, I've watched her over a number of years play. There's not a lot to her, but she has an X factor about her.
She does. We sort of joke around that she's got her own swag, but she definitely has her own approach to the game, but it is her. And what I like about her is that she does what works for her. And it doesn't always have to look the same for everyone else, but she's confident in herself. She knows she has the ability to do it, and that is where it starts. She believes in herself.
Very good at adapting to the situation, adapting to the pitch count. Big challenge now. One down low, comes through the zone though.
So you'll see some wobbly balls being dropped here, so that is just showing that Otila and Tyla haven't had a lot of opportunity to work together. So Otila's still, you know, reading Tyla's pitches and seeing how they're coming in and how they're moving, and so they must be breaking a bit late for her to be bobbling that ball, but I would expect to see that improve as the game goes on.
Inside out swing. Johnson makes the play. No, she can't. She stops the ball. In comes one. Here comes two. It's Whiteman that scores, and it's the X factor of young Erin Blackmore that does it again.
That is a big play. Way to step up. You're in a pressure situation. You have 2 outs, but that does not mean the inning is over. You step up, you put the ball in play, and that's what happens. You always run it out. You make the play. So what happened is maybe she tried to, it looked like Ash tried to pawn it off as she caught it. We'll see here on the replay.
Runners in motion. Off and running. Here comes one. Send him. Says the head coach. Whiteman will come in. And it's that Blackmore. I tell you, I don't know how she does it. But it was a tough diving play for Johnson. She did well to stop it.
Yep.
And then just couldn't roll over and make a throw in time to get her out going to first base. As you so rightly put it, ran it out in time. Denver short take now. Top of the shop again. Flew out to the second baseman, her first at bat in the first innings. Hard hit ball down the line will go foul. So our cameraman just ducks out of the way. Might have to put a batting helmet on a cameraman now.
Hey, and look, we're second time through the order now. So Denver's already had her at bat. She's got those nerves out a little bit. Not that I actually expect a player like Denver to have nerves, but she's already seen Tyler once around, and now she's in a position where she's attacking the ball right away.
Hard hit ball. Back to the track, and a fine catch by Mark here at centre field off the bat of Shaw Tate, but it's not before the X factor of Erin Blackmore pokes the error at second base, as you see here, and it's New Zealand A leading the ball game after the top of the second innings, 2-0.
That's hard to see in that replay. Still can't tell. And those are the hardest ones to catch because they're coming in wobbly. They're sort of floating through the air. You don't know how hard it's coming at you. I don't know. Maybe she did catch it. It's really hard to tell.
Hard to play, hard to tell. What we can tell you, New Zealand A leading. That's right. Sky Sport White Sox team are trailing. They'll have to dig deep, find a way, get back into this ball game. It's only 2-0 though. In the blink of an eye, that can change, can't it?
Absolutely. And look, the White Sox have only had one round of at-bats. So, you know, the A side has had their second round. We're going into, the second time through for the White Sox. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if they answer back to this, because that is the proof of a high level of player. They can come out, the other team scores, and you answer back. So we will see here if the White Sox are prepared to do that.
I think I saw a social media post from the captain, Rebecca Bromhead, at first base for New Zealand A. Something like #beware of the underdog.
Love it. And that would definitely be something that Bex would put up. She's definitely an underdog herself, and she has always proven that she can rise to the occasion. So that definitely sounds like Bex.
Attila Tavite, the catcher, will lead off here for the White Sox team. Ashley Johnson will follow her, then Michaela Lewin. Hard drop ball, just missing low. 95 on the radar gun. So trying to pump it up a little.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's still a nice pitch. So we work as pitchers, we work to feed pitches off one another. Even though that one didn't work, it's going to set up the next pitch. So she needs to think about how they're going to get those pitches to work together. So again, just a slight adjustment with that one, and now she has Otila swinging.
Adjustments throughout the match within batters sometimes. We see Lauren Parker having to do that against Tavita here. Slow grounder. Shaw Tate is there. Makes it look easy. First out of the innings. That'll bring up the second basewoman now, Ashley Johnson.
Ash here will want to be getting on after that play at second base. She's going to want to make a statement, come back and be like, all right, I'm going to do my job to get myself on base so my teammates can hit me in. So she's going to be working really hard to pick herself up here.
Good story around Ashley Johnson. Made the national team at a very young age. Then went away, became a mother, a couple of children, did her own career and things, and then has come back to the game and has made her way back into the top side. Just goes to show, doesn't matter your age, how many children you have, you can still be an elite athlete in New Zealand.
Absolutely, and a really great role model. And when I first came to New Zealand, because I'm 11 years in now, I've been here for a while, coming from the States, but when I came in, that was the first thing I fell in love with, is that, you know what, everyone can play. It doesn't matter. If you're a baller and you want to put yourself out there, you can be competitive and you can make a statement. So hats off to Ash and all the other moms out there on the field today.
Yes, indeed. And runner up the middle, this will be a tough play. Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you what, we've seen some good shortstops today, and that Denver Shaw Tate is definitely one of them.
Yeah, we have some really good middle infielders coming up. So we had the likes of Caitlin Lewin as well, who has her own little swagger out on the field, and she moves really well and has some really great ability. And so to have two really strong middle infielders, great future for New Zealand.
Talk about Caitlin. Here's her older sister, Michaela Lewin, now playing left field for the White Sox team this evening. Takes the first pitch down low for a ball. Drills that one down the edge. Lauren Parker making the New Zealand top side. We've seen her kind of come in, touch in, pop out. She's there or thereabouts, isn't she?
Yes, absolutely. Lauren is someone who's always striving to get there, and she's always on that fringe, in and out. And her and Tyler both are very similar sort of story, and always just trying to get there. And now is their opportunity where they are there. It is their time to shine. And so watching tonight, seeing how they hold themselves and how they're approaching the game is key to see how they will go in the future with the White Sox.
We hear about elite athletes having no stone unturned and no regrets. Lauren Parker, one of the hardest working athletes, a gym junkie for sure.
Absolutely. She's said how she wakes up at 4 a.m. or some ridiculous time in the morning, and before she's off to school, she is in the gym and she is training. So it's good to know that we have that caliber of player with that mindset, and we need all of the players to be on that same page. And so she's a really good model as far as her work ethic.
Well, that one fouls off 2-2, the count on Lewin now. Well, we talk about that work ethic and trying to be an elite international player. Jen, you went away to the Olympic qualifiers in Shanghai and China last year, which Australia won to get the berth to Tokyo Olympics. That level of competition, of athlete you see at those events, what makes the difference to be at that level?
You live it and breathe it. You know, we absolutely love it, and it's something that you are thinking about all the time. You are waking up, you're training all day long if you have the opportunity, which some countries do. Unfortunately, here in New Zealand, you know, we do have students and full-time, we have to have full-time jobs, but it doesn't make us any less competitive, and we actually have some really quality players. So you are full on all the time. You're working or you're working out and you're training, and that is your mindset, and you're there to play ball.
The great tradition in New Zealand, isn't it? Sports people wearing that fern just seem to rise to another level. Off the end of the bat here, Omatungi left to come forward and get it, and she does. That'll retire the White Sox in order. More importantly, it keeps them scoreless. It's New Zealand A leading, Jen, 2-0.
Well done to New Zealand A. So that was an important inning for them to shut down the White Sox, because when you score, we say you want to score back, and that did not happen this inning. So now they're on the back foot, and the White Sox are chasing, and New Zealand A is doing a really good job. So an important inning here for Tyler to come out and shut the team down.
Challenge initiated, that's for sure, from New Zealand A tonight here in Game 4 of the Sky Sports White Sox Tri-Series here at Early Sports Stadium in Albany on Auckland's North Shore. That's the part on the other side where the bridge has been repaired, by the way, for all the other people around the country and the world. No problems, that's getting around the city at the moment. Outstanding. If you're here tomorrow, get down early. Be 2 matches on the schedule. 11 a.m. will be the juniors taking on the Sky Sport White Sox team, and then a repeat of this match will be at 1 p.m. All those matches live on Sky Sport 9 as well, if you can't get to the ballpark.
And how about a beautiful weekend for softball? How about this?
I tell you what, we're very lucky in Aotearoa, aren't we, Jen? Not only with the weather at this time of year. Quick shot from Omatungi goes over to Andrews at third base, and she'll take that all day long. That'll bring up the bat the captain. Flew out an acrobatic catch by the catcher. Remember, Tila Tavite back in the first innings did Rebecca Bromhead.
And Bex will remember that, and she will come out ready and looking for that pitch.
The outside. You see Morrison's lifter, and if it's a low lifter, sometimes can stay straight, but also turn.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of that rise ball, is sometimes it just depends on that hand position. Sometimes when you're under that ball and you want to pull it up, you have a rise ball, but if you get a bit lazy and pull it off to the side, that's your curveball. So the beauty of it is it's still moving, it's breaking somewhere, but also your catcher needs to be ready and know your pitcher's tendencies in case that does happen.
Drop ball's good, levels the count. 1-1 now from Morrison. Change of pace. Almost looks like that comes out of the back of her third hand when she throws that change up, isn't it?
Yeah, I tell you what, there's 1,001 different ways to throw a changeup, is what I always say. It is a pitch that varies greatly, but once you nail it, it is one of the most important pitches to have in this game.
Well, I think I nicknamed your changeup. Was it the Assassin?
That sounds about right.
Yeah. An outstanding change-up. I've seen you throw a lot of games, Jen, and you've got one of the good ones. Tell me, what's the benefit of utilising a change-up in your pitching arsenal?
It's mixing up the speed and keeping that batter off balance. So if you throw pitches with different movement, great, but if that batter can keep up to your speed, they can get the bat to the ball.
Bromhead punches one the other way, just goes foul.
So when you're working that changeup, like we were saying, it keeps that batter off balance, and they don't know if it's coming in fast or slow, which sounds really obvious, but when you can't load up and be ready to unload on the ball, you really taking away a lot of strength from that batter, and you're putting more opportunity for a miss hit and an out for your team.
I'm talking about watching some of your matches. The opening match, I think it was, of the Olympic qualifier in Shanghai last year, we were playing the home side there, China, and you had them pinned with this varied pace, as this one fouls back, varied pace against China there. I mean, they are one of the powerhouses in our region of this greater Oceania area, Asia area. You had them pinned down right towards the death of that match.
Yeah, and that's something that's really important, that you do your scouting and you know your batters, and that's what happens at an elite level. So you go away, you watch video, and you see, and that's what we did before the game.
This one's up. Willie Huckel backs back. She'll take a two-handed catch. And tell you what, any kids watching, that's how you catch the ball every time. Hope Weber got on the back of one and drove it to left field, unfortunately for her, straight into the glove of the outfielder, Lewin. But she made good contact back in the second innings.
So we're seeing a lot of foul balls, and to me that's a good sign, because the batter's not far off, so it's good for the batter, but it's also good for our pitchers, so they are fooling the batters. So it's good on both sides when we talk about the development of the game and where we want to head.
Working both sides of the dial here. Another hefty swing from Weber. Boy, oh boy, I tell you what, she gets one, it ain't coming back.
She is known in the softball community for hitting big, and so it's so great to see her back out, swinging the bat, looking fantastic, ready to go, and she's in it. She's back 100%. She is so driven to be a part of this squad, and so it's really good to see her stepping up on this A side.
Just missing outside. Boy, you've got to love the spirit from Morrison on the hill. It's a pirouette and an ask, and come on, Blue, give it to me one time.
Yeah, well, you know, when you're up against a really strong batter that you want, you know, when you work for that pitch, you want it.
Again, a little something different out of Morrison. Not teasing enough, though, for Weber. Earns herself to a 2-2 count now. This one, drop ball just misses over the top of the zone.
And 2-2 counts are tricky because you really don't want to find yourself in the position she is now. It's a full count, so that batter is ready to swing at anything close and swinging with a hard bat.
Good pitch. Very good pitch. Cutting inside, drop ball just nicks the bat of Weber to stay alive, but a good challenge here. Morrison still with a smile on her face.
Absolutely, and you'll see her breathing. She just took a deep breath, and that's what you do. You recenter, you have your moment, you know, of excitement, but then you have to ground yourself again.
And she sails it in there. The little curve action on the lifter works a charm. She throws it at Weber in the batter's box and then bends it into the zone. Perfectly executed by Morrison to shut the door.
That was huge, and she was working Hope away a lot. She was working outside, because with, again, strong batters, you want to keep it away. And so Hope sitting on that outside pitch, and then Tyla surprises her, goes inside, and it was brilliant because it froze her, didn't even pull the trigger. 3
up, 3 down in the top of the third innings from New Zealand A. We'll hand it over to the Sky Sports White Sox teams. They'll come out in the bottom of the third, trailing by 2, though, to this New Zealand A side.
Yep, so we are going to be heading into the bottom of the lineup here and then back up to the top. So again, second time through the lineup, which is where you saw the A side do a bit more of their damage. So again, White Sox having the opportunity here. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this opportunity.
Well, the good thing for the White Sox team, Nursa McDowell will be the leadoff hitter, as you mentioned. Then we go back to the top. Then you have a marker, then Michaela Wedehiko. But Narissa McDowell was outstanding in the last match, wasn't she? It seemed after her first at-bat, she just went from leap, strength to strength, drove in 2 runs down the line, and then created havoc in the last at-bat as well.
Absolutely. And what is important to know is that number 9, as you go through the batting order, each spot in that batting lineup has importance. So when you look at 9, it's not your weakest batter. A lot of the times coaches will put really quick batters at that point of the lineup, because when you go to that number 9 spot and then you're back to the top of the order and you have speed on the bases. So if she gets herself on base, that is the best opportunity here for the White Sox to put some runs on the board.
Looking to set the table here on the bottom of the 3rd innings. Lauren Parker's got other ideas. She throws one down the kitchen sink. That'll go foul, levels the count. 1 ball, 1 strike.
So one thing we're working on at the higher level with our pitchers is really hitting our spots. We talk about pitching to the gray of the plate or painting the corners and keeping that ball out of the middle of the zone, because that's where you're going to get the most bat on the ball.
I guess it's the same if you look at maybe golf, where you want to try and hit the ball in the middle of the golf club. I haven't found that yet. But that's what you're saying. You're trying to get it in the bad part of the bat if it's going to hit the bat.
Exactly. So when you work around the outside of the plate and further from that sweet spot, we say, in the middle, because that's what the batter wants. The batter wants a pitch right down the middle, because that's where they're going to get the best part of the bat on the ball. So as a pitcher, your job is to keep them off balance, change up your pace, work those corners, and get that miss hit. So the pitchers aren't trying to throw it down the middle. So if you're sitting here and you don't know softball very well and you're thinking, oh my gosh, they can't even throw it down the middle. Well, they're definitely not trying to. I can promise you that. They want to hit those corners and make it hard for that batter.
Time taken by Lauren Parker on the hill here. Beautiful evening, not a cloud in the sky. The lights are on here at Ellie Sports Stadium for the action here between New Zealand A and the Sky Sport White Sox. So this one pops up as well. Chasing for it is Bromhead, the first baseman. Alas, too far over the fence.
What I like is that Beck's just traveled a long way chasing down that ball, because you don't know, that wind can shift, that can change and push the ball back into the park. So you run it down until you can't anymore. And that's just Beck's being a leader. That's what she does.
Hard hurt ball, and that is perfect. You asked about trying to set the table for the top of the order. She got all of that the other way, didn't she, McDowell?
Exactly. And something that the team, the fielding team should have realized is she was hitting inside out, which means she's a bit late on the ball. The way she was hitting, it was always going to go to that side of the field. And so hard hit. That was going to be a really hard play for Tennille to make, but need to be ready, crashing in hard on that from the outfield and seeing what you can do. But now, hey, look, this is exactly what we said. Get your runners on. Let's see what the White Sox can do with this.
Video mark here goes at the first pitch, looking for no woman's land. And there is nothing like that, with a great knee sliding catch at right field by Brooke Whiteman. Get a sneaky tag at 2. They'll get the first out on the catch, though.
Heads up base running. You will see Narissa has made her way to second base, which is huge. Once you see that outfielder, even if they make that catch, when she goes down, that means you are running, because she's going to have to pop back up and make that throw. So that was some heads up base running. Even though there was a fly and there was an out, we still advanced our base runner. So Mids did her job.
Michaela Wedehiko now flew out to the shortstop. Back in the first innings. Opportunity now with a runner in scoring position here in the 3rd. Takes the first pitch down and inside. Defensive alignment, when you've got a fast runner like McDowell at second base. Outfield, do they have to change some of their strategy?
Yeah, definitely. So when you're in the outfield and you have that ball coming at you, you have to know where that play is. So, knowing your batter, having to play, according to your batter, because we've seen Michaela hit a ball deep in the outfield as well in earlier games. So knowing your batter, but also knowing when you get that ball, as soon as it's on the ground, you're crashing in hard, and you've got to make that play at home, knowing that runner at second base is going to go more than just one base. She's going to be trying to score.
So if the ground ball goes to an outfielder, especially the centre fielder here, expect to play at home plate. Running bunt. Goes foul, though. Head coach Gabriel using all of the different coaching toolbox here.
It's really good to see batters that are early in the lineup still putting down the bunt. A lot of times when you know someone's a good hitter, the coach forgets that, oh, we can bunt. We have other tools in the toolbox. But that is what's great about this lineup is all these players have all those tools. They can bunt. They can hit the ball.
Perfectly placed delivery from Parker on the outside edge. Picks up the strikeout looking of Werehuko. And boy, oh boy, that's a big out in this innings.
That is a big out. Well done to Lauren there. Staying in it, knowing she's up in the count, working her pitches. That was huge. And now you have someone like Lara Andrews up to bat. So you have to think strategically. You know, you're at your number 3 batter. You still have Tanisha Hokomo after. And knowing that Tanisha can hit really well. So do you pitch at Lara? Or do you go at Tanisha? What do you do?
What do you do? I tell you what, I'm glad I'm up here commentating and not making those decisions down on third base, that's for sure. But it is Lara Andrews with McDowell, as you see at second base there. Prime opportunity, albeit with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third innings. Looks to try and go the other way. She saw how McDowell was successful with that.
And that's what we say when you have runners, or ducks on the pond as we like to call them, you want to hit behind them. So you want to hit to the right side of the field because that is going to help them get around and score. So with 2 outs, contact at the bat, McDowell's going to be running. Doesn't matter where that ball is. She's running hard with 2 outs.
Just outside there. We caught a shot just before of both Denver Shortate and Taneo Omatangi, the shortstop and second baseman, with their hands behind the back here as the pitcher's getting ready to deliver. Let's see. I know they haven't got their hand in their pocket trying to keep it warm. If we get another shot of it, you can tell us what's happening. Here goes a good shot, though. It's Andrews, and she does come good, like she does always, the captain. Drives it to the fence for a double. More importantly, it's a first run on the board for New Zealand. 2-1 now to the 18.
And that's what happens when you're in a pressure situation. And that is, again, Narissa getting on base, leading off. The next 2 people moving her over, the next 2 batters, and Lara coming up big. You know, she knows she's in that situation. It's her job to get her teammate in. And now she's in scoring position with another key hitter up to bat. So this is going to be a big out here.
McDowell at the ready on the hit. As soon as it's hit, she knows it's in a spot where the outfitters are not, and she is off and running without a hesitation. Tanisha Hokamo now, a clean-up hitter for the White Sox tonight.
That is a really good leadoff pitch from Lauren. Super, super key to get that strike early and make Tanisha be on the back foot. So she's now thinking, ooh, okay, I need to be ready to swing. Maybe whether I like this pitch or not, but I need to be ready now.
Just down below, same location, but a little lower this time. So 2 balls and 1 strike here on Tanisha Hokamo.
And what you'll see from Lauren is she keeps the ball really low, and that's one of her strengths. Because when you keep the ball low, you keep it typically in the infield and definitely in the ballpark.
1 the other way. 1 bounce to Bromhead, the captain at first base. And that'll stop the bleeding here for New Zealand A, but not before. Captain fantastic. Lara Andrews with their second hit of the ball game, both of them doubles. This one picks up a run. It's the Sky Sports White Sox team trailing New Zealand A 2 runs to 1 as we head to the top of the 4th innings. Jen, halfway through this match, we're now going to the top of the 4th innings. If you're Roman Gabriel, what's your rating mark on the team so far through the early part stages of this match?
You know, I'll be really honest. This is early days. We're early in the season. This is the girls finding their feet, working together, learning to work together, because they might know each other, but this is the first time they've actually been on the field in this sort of format along with one another this way. And I think, I mean, 4th inning, it's still early days. A lot can happen in 1 inning, in 1 pitch. So we've seen that happen in the past. A lot of ball game left. I think we're just working it out, seeing what the girls, you know, how they're feeling and checking in. But I don't think we're too nervous just yet.
No need to be nervous. Unless Captain Fantastic is batting. Look at that stroke from Lara Andrews. Just blasts it. Remember, she tried to go the other way before, then she goes where that one is. And, man, she is just outstanding, isn't she? Back to the action here. First pitch hitting. It's deep, but not deep enough as Michaela Lewin will make the catch off the bat of Phil Marley-Wakeford. Ashley Scott picked up a walk back in the second innings, the catcher for New Zealand 8. That walk led to her coming around in a run off that era of Blackmore's stroke. So she's crossed the plate once already, has Scott. After giving up one run in the bottom of the third, boy, she'd love to cross the plate again.
Oh, absolutely. And Ashley Scott is a player who's really evolved over the years. I worked with her a little bit when she was younger, up and coming. And again, had her ebbs and flows and really worked through whether, softball was going to be your thing and, whether we're playing for fun or whether we're in this. And I think as she grew in confidence and ability, now she's finding herself here. And now she's ready to see if she can make that squad and be a part of this team. And she's gone away recently and played over in Italy. And I think having that ability to go away and play also probably triggered something for her and said, you know what, actually, I'm in this. I want this.
Jen, that brings up a good question. What opportunities does fast pitch softball give you as an athlete? This one's up. We'll come back to that in a second. Taken nicely at right field there by Marissa McDowell out there. Record the second out of the innings. It'll be Brooke Whiteman now, the opposing right fielder, that get an opportunity to bat.
Yeah, so traveling, there are so many opportunities. Again, under normal circumstances, the world's a funny place right now, but you have an opportunity to play over in Europe, to play in Taiwan, Japan, Australia. We have girls playing internationally in club teams, but we also have girls who have gone over and playing in the States and able to get an education and play at that higher level and train and make that a part of their life. And so a lot of opportunities to even go around, pick up tournaments, and it's such a world brought together by softball, and it's really cool. There's many opportunities out there.
Truly an international sport is softball, and played in so many countries around the world, as you say, the opportunity to travel, experience culture, different styles of play. Not only the food, though, too. Boy, oh boy. That's my favourite part about this game, getting travel to see the food in different countries. It's always an experience. Little check swing. That'll pop out to Ashley Johnson. And that'll do the New Zealand A side. They pick up 2 runs in the second, but the third and the fourth, Jen, 3 up, 3 down. The score obviously 2-1 at this point.
Yeah, well done. And that is what you want as a pitcher, 3 up, 3 down. It makes light work for your pitcher, not throwing too many pitches. And looking at it, we haven't had too many big innings. We had that one longer inning in the second, but other than that, our pitchers are doing a really good job of staying on track, minimizing the damage, and doing the job and getting the job done with the defense. So far from the pitching aspect, doing really well. Really want to see more of the bats now. I'm ready to see some hits.
I'm ready for some boogie. I'm ready for some hits. Lauren Parker, Tyler Morrison have been putting it down so far. But there are 5 hits on the board and 3 runs as well. That allows us to get to this opportunity. Apologies, that's 3 hits so far. There were 3 errors. They were off hard hits, though.
They were hard hits. And again, when that ball is coming in hot, hard to adjust. The terrain. Also, nighttime, you see that sun going down, and that affects your vision and how you see that ball. So some players are okay, but some people struggle in the dark. So we have the lights on and shining, and we'll see how this affects the game moving forward.
So the lights are on here at Ellie Sports Stadium because the action is on the field here, and it'll be Lucy McIntyre, Attila Tavite, and Ashley Johnson. 1, 2, 3 for the White Sox team. Just down low, misses for a ball. This one just misses the middle of the zone. 2 balls. Good velocity, though, from Parker.
2 balls, not a position you want to be in against a batter like Lucy McIntyre. So 2 balls, that means Lucy's ready to pull the trigger on this one. She is ready to swing hard.
Batter's count indeed. She does swing hard, but a good location from Parker right on the edge of the bat.
Yeah, and it was really well done from Lauren to locate that ball so that Lucy could not put it in play hard. So now Lauren working herself back into the count, working herself into a better place. 2-1 count. Favor still in the batter, though.
Hard drop ball down inside, misses. So even better again, 3-1 count. Another hitter's count here for McIntyre. Got to be careful about giving these elite athletes, as you said, too many opportunities.
Exactly. She's free to swing. If she likes this pitch, she's going to swing hard. If not, she knows she has another one to play with.
Hard hit ball by Parker. Woohoo! The gym junkie just snags that on a reactional play. From here, just sharing a joke. Duck and catch, duck and catch.
So you'll see Lauren having that face mask on, and that's something that's become a bigger part of the game. So girls now wearing, especially pitchers, wearing a face mask, because when you are hurling yourself at a batter, throwing a ball, it is hard to react when it comes back at you hard.
Slow roller this time. Omatangi will take care of it. And 2 quick outs here for the White Sox team. Yeah, I've got to say, I'm a great fan of the face mask, to be fair.
Hey, look, with the way technology has evolved and these bats have so much pop. And when you think of the balls coming in 100K, how much faster is that ball coming off the bat? So as a pitcher, it, absolutely, it doesn't make them, scared or sissy. It's smart.
Smart indeed. And I tell you what, smart through the bottom of the 4th innings. Did New Zealand A go 3 out, 3 down on about 4 pitches. We'll come back with the top of the 5th. As we are marching through this one now. Close ball game now, Biter. 2 runs to 1 here. New Zealand A over the Sky Sports White Sox team. What does New Zealand A need to do now to secure this win?
Look, they need some more runs. They are playing against the White Sox, and the White Sox will come back. And any team will, but they're here to defend. And as an A team, you need more runs. You need to shut them down when you're on defense. You need to protect. You need to do all the little things right. And there's a lot of little things in this game.
Well, I tell you, I put that glove in front of that ball. That was a good thing. Boy, oh boy. I need to see an optometrist and you name it. But I'm glad it's not me out there. What a great play by Lauren Parker defensively there in the 4th innings. Well, we've seen some good softball so far here today. There's plenty more to go in this one. I get the feeling we've got a bit of fireworks yet to come tonight.
Yeah, early days, every inning counts, and so we'll see what the girls come out with here. Again, it's sort of, the game, there's games within games, and it ebbs and flows, and you have, your ups and downs. So I think the girls are really, it's coming to a point in the game where we're ready to see some more action, and I think it's coming.
Now, Naya Mātangi, the left fielder, will lead off here for New Zealand A. Takes the first pitch, poured down through the zone from Tyler Morrison. Will continue her book of work, starting pitcher for this one for the White Sox. 62 pitches so far, 24 balls and 38 strikes. She pulls the string on that one. Boy, oh boy. Hard to find the goose egg for the catcher, but when you throw a pitch like that, it's hard to find it no matter where you are.
Let loose on that one a little bit, but you can do that when you're up in the count and you really want to make something wiggle, and then that happens. But now she can take a deep breath, zone back in, and work her way back in this count.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Tries that change up again. This one a little high. But not afraid to keep on mixing those pitches, isn't it? Tavite behind the dish. New partnership with Morrison, but they seem to be finding a rhythm. Here's an off-speed pitch. Comes off lightly, and they will make the out easily, does Ashley Johnson.
Yeah, and well done to Ash, crashing in hard, but also keeping her eyes on the ball, because those slow rollers can be really tricky, and they can hit something on the ground and you know, take a detour real quick. So important for her to stay on that, and that was a really well done play.
And here comes the secret weapon, Erin Blackmore. Remember, back in the second innings, she drove one off the second baseman's diving attempt on the throw, plated 2 runs in that play. The 2 runs that New Zealand A have on the scoreboard here in Blackmore. It levels the count 1-1.
And you'll see Blackmore there, check swinging, being able to hold her bat back. But even something like that plays on a batter's mind, like, ooh, okay, you know, the pitcher, she's, you know, I can't quite read her. I'm not too sure what's going on. So that gives confidence to the pitcher, knowing that, all right, I'm on to something.
On and ready. Morrison's got other ideas as she sets and fires. This one's a little high though. And Blackmore now rewarded with a hitter's count 3-1. Morrison pours one in. That'll fill the count now.
Well done coming back to Tyler. And we think about, you know, what the White Sox will have in the bullpen, and Amy Begg pitching the game before. So you wonder, do the White Sox, does Roman warm up Amy Begg, or do we leave Tyler in and see how she goes?
Big. Got off to a slow start in that match, but then she really knuckled down. And of course, the White Sox, they got off to a slow start offensively, but then they exploded, didn't they? In the 4th and the 5th innings, scoring 7 runs. This one flies up, and Willie Hickle will take the catch. 2 outs now for New Zealand A.
Some really good communication there. So back behind second place, it's sort of no man's land, right? So you have the center fielder crashing in and both middle infielders, shortstop and second base, running to that ball. But you see, there was no problem. Michaela called the ball. Everyone backed away. It was a smooth transition, and that's the difference at an elite level.
First pitch swinging is Shaw Tate. Taking over as the outfielder to make the catch. And Narissa McDowd, and that is 3 innings a row here for the New Zealand A side that have gone down in order, 1, 2, 3.
Yep, and this is really where you want to start making your mark as the White Sox. You need to start putting that bat on the ball, and I think defensively it looks like they're really settling in. I think, you know, just watching Ashley Johnson, for example, out there and watching her run around second, she didn't make any plays necessarily in those last 2 at bats, but she was there. She was ready to go. She's running over to cover the ball behind second. Doesn't get there, but she's ready. The ball hit out to right field. She's there. She's ready in case her teammate does not catch the ball. So it's good to see them working together defensively, working things out, how to communicate with one another. So I think that's falling into place. Now they need the bats to start working and fall into place.
Find the balancing act between defense and offense. It's Lauren Parker that's been winning the battle against them offensively, that's for sure, on the hill for New Zealand A. But, as you so rightly put, taking a bit of that defensive good work and putting it into their offense could be the key here for the White Sox, and they'll do that as they will send up the bat here. Michaela Lewin, Narissa McDowd, she's been in trouble all day. She'll be hitting 2, and then Miriam Mamake back to the top of the shop, 3rd time through the order. First pitch is down low. Lauren Parker, 57 pitches on the day so far, 21 balls and 36 strikes. Hard hit ball the other way. Looks like it'll bend, and it will bend out of play.
What I really am enjoying today is seeing the girls hitting opposite side of the field. Historically, New Zealand is a pull hitting team because we are very strong. We're able to get around the ball, and the speed doesn't beat us. So we're able to hit that ball to the left side of the field. But really, your elite players will use all parts of the field. So it is so good to see that happening here today. It means we're moving in the right direction.
Moving in the right direction indeed here. Kayla Lewin desperately looking to get on base. 1-1 count though. She faces against Parker. Change up. Hard hit ball. Go straight into the web of Denver short Tate. Right place, right time.
And sometimes it's reading the pitch, and sometimes you think, oh, that was an easy play. Well, actually, the players have to set themselves up in the right position. You have to know the batter. You have to know where that pitch is going on the plate. Whether it's going to the inside of the plate or the outside of the plate depends on where you set up as a fielder. So well done, Denver, being in the right place.
First pitch swinging is the hot bat of Narissa McDowell.
What I really like to see here are the New Zealand pitchers working both sides of the plate, especially that inside. And you'll see the batters getting jammed up, which is why they're hitting the inside of the, or to the right side of the field a lot. But getting those hands through, because those pitchers are really working hard on that inside. And so it's really good to see them, because sometimes when you're throwing inside to a batter, you don't want to hit them because that's a free base. So they're able to nail that corner today and work both sides.
Work the side of the plate there indeed, and a nod of approval or acknowledgement from McDowell in the batter's box. A good challenge here. Little change of pace, drops short.
And sometimes that's not a bad thing. Sometimes pitchers, we actually throw a changeup in the dirt. And you'd be amazed that some people still swing at that. But the next pitch, if she were to throw that changeup again and bring it up to a little bit higher, but still a bit too low for a miss hit, that would be a good time to use that pitch.
Just tries to get it up again. Just short hop Scott behind the dish. Ends a full count now. Quality at bat, though, from Narissa McDowell.
Yep. Again, that next level, being selective. Really choosing which pitches you want to go at and what pitch you're going to be able to hit well.
Oh, and a good delivery. You talked about getting that change up in the right spot there. She cleans it up there. Good adjustment from Parker against a tough hitting McDowell.
Yeah, well, we saw last time when McDowell got on, she was able to get around and score. And the one thing you want to do as a pitcher is keep the leadoff batter off. Now, McDowell was not the leadoff batter in this case, but it's still really key to keep those runners off the base. And she stayed in that at bat, and Lauren was able to get her chasing in the end.
That'll bring up to bat now. Top of the shop, Miriam Amaki, third time through the lineup, Jen.
Third time through. The favor is definitely leaning towards the batters now. So these batters are going to be coming up, knowing what to expect, knowing what they had seen in their previous two at-bats, knowing that this is where Lauren is throwing me, this is where she's going. So either Lauren now needs to change her game plan, and you'll see she's starting to throw more inside, which she was not doing before. So she needs to change her tactics at the same time the batters, they think, okay, I've got a good eye on, so now I'm ready to pull the trigger.
Mark here looking to do something a little bit different there. Bromhead at first base is onto it. I'm not too sure a third baseman was there, so she could have stuck that down there. Maybe an opportunity to get those quick feet of Mark here on base.
And it's all about reading the defense as a batter. Sometimes you just stick your bat out there just to see if people move. Who's sleeping? Who's awake? What can I make happen? Are the outfielders moving? And sometimes as a batter, you read the outfielders. Are the outfielders moving too early? Are they giving away where that pitch is going to be?
Mark here set. Here comes the 2-1. Hard hit ball, laced it. It's straight to the outfielder out there for New Zealand A and Nanaya Matangi. So good claps, good smiles on New Zealand A's dials because they're leading the ball game here against the senior side, the top side. 2-1. But you never know, right? You just never know. New Zealand may have a chance for an insurance run in the top of the six when they come back, Jen.
Yes. And what's really exciting to see is the A side challenging the White Sox, because this is only going to help the development of our game in New Zealand, knowing that we have quality players on both sides, and it's going to challenge them, put them under pressure, because that's how you get better, is when you're under pressure. And that's when you step up and you learn what you're made of.
Well, we're going to find out what this Sky Sport White Sox New Zealand side is made of, that's for sure, Jen, because they'll need to hold out New Zealand A here on the top of the 6 innings to give themselves an opportunity as they go through the bottom of the next 2 innings, try and grab themselves the lead.
Hey, this is exciting. This is what it's all about. This is a close ball game. This is why we play. This is what's fun.
It is indeed, and that's why we're here. We're glad to have you along too on Sky Sport 9 here for the Sky Sport White Sox Tri-Series here at the LE Sports Stadium.
And leading off for New Zealand A,
Tennille Omatangi, the second basewoman for New Zealand A. She's been in amongst everything, it seems, today, both defensively and also with the bat. So we'll see what she can do here. 2 ground outs to Lola Andrews in her 2 at-bats, but they were 2 good plays.
Yes, she had that soft slap at the beginning of the game, and then she tried to put on a little bit more. So we'll see what she goes back to at this point in the game. You'll see the defense adjusting, everybody, the infield crashing in a little bit more. One of the hardest things to do is when that soft slap goes down as a fielder to crash in and make that play, because you're trying to run in when that player is just getting closer to first base. So when you do get the ball, you've got to get rid of it quick. Both pitchers here working really hard late in the game. Again, this is early on in the season, so this is a lot of game time for our pitchers.
Finds the zone on the outer edge. That'll move the count 3-1 now. So Omatangi. No movement in the bullpen for either squad. So it's Morrison v. Parker. That'll continue this battle. Slaps that one late, does Omatangi. But again, trying something a little bit different. Bouncing it hard into the turf.
Oh, that's one of the worst nightmares you can have, because when you have a hard ground and you're bouncing that ball and it's in the air, you can't do anything. It's not like you can climb a ladder and get up there and get it. So you just got to sit and wait while it's coming down and that runner's running.
Again, inside pitch, though. She can't quite get it the other way enough. It'll go foul. The count will remain full, though. 3 balls and 2 strikes on the speedster, Omatangi. Good concentration on the face. Staying on the outside location does the battery team of Tavite and Morrison. Another foul ball. And
you'll see that these, again, Tyla and Tennille have played together. They know each other a bit, and knowing your batters, so knowing that is where they're going to find success with Tennille.
Just misses the top of the zone, does Morrison, and the speedster does exactly what the doctor orders for the New Zealand A side. She gets the lead-off walk, runner on, no one out. Boy, oh boy, insurance run time, baby.
Yeah, lead-off batter is exactly who we said earlier you want to keep off the base path. And Tennille, with those wheels, she is quick and she can move around the bases. She's a smart base runner. And now you have your 3, 4, 5 batters up. This is a dangerous place to be.
The outside edge comes in and picks up the strike, though. And you're right, dangerous batter here. And the captain, Becca Bromhead, maybe set up normally historically for a sacrifice bunt play, but with the power in her bat, the options are aplenty, isn't it?
Definitely. So you'll see what's happened over at first base. Lucy McIntyre has moved in. So you'll see Tennille over at first base able to take a bigger lead off the base. So going harder, running towards second base every time we have that pitch. So Ashley Johnson trying to get over to first to cover just to make her stay close. But this is a tough place. This is a tough place to be.
Off goes Omatangi. She was going anyway on the pitch, but the little bobble behind it allows her to stand up going to second and applaud the attempt.
So well done to Tennille. You still have to be ready to hop. So it's great to take a good lead off, but you have to be ready to react on that, because if you don't react right away and go with your gut, you can get held up and you can get caught.
Looking for that sacrifice bunt there, but that little curving action on the rise ball from Morrison, just too elusive.
Yeah, I know it's a pitch that she has. She's not necessarily trying to work that today. They're really trying to work the up-down change with Tyla and get her comfortable with those pitches. So I think once she adds that curveball to her repertoire when she's ready, I think it'll just be another strength for her.
Hard one down the line. And it's just, and I mean just, foul. The runners are running, but home plate umpire Andy McManus calls it nice and quick and early. Boy, that was close to that insurance run coming in.
This is right where the New Zealand A side wants to be. They do not have any outs on the board. They have a runner at 2. They're in the meat of their order where they can do a lot of damage. They're going to be feeling really confident right now, and Bex is going to want to step up as the captain and say, all right, I'm ready to make this happen for my team and get that ball rolling and get some action going.
Set and ready. Teeth gritted. Straight back to the pitcher. Morrison checks the runner. Omatangi will go anyway to 3. Nice snag by Andrews. It would have given up a run maybe if she hadn't have snagged it. But a reactional stop from Morrison. They'll still get the out at first base. Here does the White Sox team, but boy, oh boy, only 60 feet away now. Is that insurance run for New Zealand A?
Well done to Tyla here, reading that ball and able to turn. But Tennille heads up base running, taking that lead and making that play. Lara, awesome extension getting the ball, because if that ball goes by Lara, that's the run on the board. So well done for her for reaching out and getting that ball and still trying to put on the tag. And that's that next level stuff we're talking about.
Add-on plays, thinking ahead. I actually think that's why New Zealand and all sporting codes excel around the world. We're only a small nation and world scale, if you like, but we achieve above our pay packet, not a pay packet, but our weight, if you like. If you're talking about populations, I actually think it's that. We're intuitive. We think about plays. We think outside the box. And I think we find ways to be successful.
Absolutely. And I think another thing that's really helped New Zealand is we're very proud. We're very competitive, and the girls play for each other. You know, we recognize those before us, and the team and the community, there's just so much behind that. And that's, you know, it's not about me, it's about we. And that is also what is a huge advantage for New Zealand.
Well, top of the 6 innings, New Zealand A with a lead of 1. They could add to that with that runner on third base here. Hope Weber with one of the biggest swings in the team. She can cause damage if there's no runners on, but now she's got one just out of her grasps there at third base. Only one down, so a deep fly ball would do it as well.
Absolutely. So, as you know, with one down, the runner can tag up. So once that ball is caught in the outfield, the runner has to go back, touch the base, and then they can advance to the next base, and in this case, home, which is where you score the run.
1 ball and 2 strikes now. There's a hard liner on an inside lifter. She's just ahead of Weber. Goes foul down the line. They'll come back and reset.
This is a good place for Tyla. She's ahead in the count, so Hope has to protect anything close. She has to go for that ball to protect the plate.
Tips this one out and just misses the catcher's glove. I saw that timeout before. Roman Gabriel coming out, instructing a timeout. Maybe a defensive play or just a settling play situation?
Yeah, it could be going in, checking with his pitcher and his battery, and just saying, hey, you know, let's take a second, let's reset, because we know that softball is a game of momentum, right? And so the A side definitely picking up some momentum, getting some runners moving around. So hitting that reset button for his team and saying, remember what we're here to do, one thing at a time, shut them down. We can get out of this with no damage.
Morrison to Weber now. Hard hit ball. Andrews, unbelievable at third base. Snags a line drive and then doubles out Omatangi at 3. That's an elite play.
That is it. So I cannot wait to see the replay on this one, because that is heads up. She's in the right position, and then has the wherewithal to go and make the tag. Here we go. Let's see this.
oh boy, clips the leg on the way through back to the base. Obertungi knew it. So did Andrews. What a play by the captain of the Sky Sports White Sox team. Sometimes momentum shift and a defensive play can do it. We'll find out. And the bottom of the 6th innings, is that the catalyst for the girls to make the comeback?
Well, that's what we talk about. We talk about momentum. We talk about game changers. And that right there can be a game changer. And putting the momentum back on the side of the White Sox and seeing if now they can feed off of that energy, come out with their bats swinging, and come back in this game.
Oh boy, strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. We're down to the pointy end of this one. Ooh, we got ourselves a ball game indeed, that's for sure. It will be the bottom of the 6th innings, and they'll hand it over to the shortstop, Michaela Whitty, who caught Lara Andrews. Oh my goodness, what has she done today? Just 2 hits, right? An exceptional double play. She's going to come up hitting second, and then Tanisha Hokamo. So she's all about to happen here.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're Lauren Parker, you're like, all right, you've got on twice. I am shutting you down. No more. I have had enough.
Parker still with plenty of velocity on the pitch. 94 on the radar as that one comes through low outside the zone.
Tell you what, Michaela Warahiko looking really good. So happy to see her out at shortstop. She's looking fit, looking good. She's playing league with her sisters. So for those that don't know, she has two sisters who also play softball, but they're playing league together. And so I think for her, it's been an opportunity to have a bit of fun and just get back out there and play and enjoy the game. But you see the actual results of that coming to her softball game.
I was going to say that, and she looks in outstanding form at the moment. Obviously been putting a lot of hard work in the on the paddock, obviously playing league and the gym. Get herself in peak physical condition. She tries a running bunt that goes foul.
And that's an argument that coaches always have. Like, oh, do we let our athlete play another sport? And in some cases, yeah, you get injured. You know, that's what happened to me. I wanted to play volleyball, mix it up, play something different. I hurt myself. But at the same time, it's so imperative to play a lot of sports, because when you're always doing something similar over and over, you have to mix it up. And sport is an easy way to do that. You look at the game of baseball and softball, and those are some of the best athletes in the world. Not because I'm biased, but there are so many different aspects of the game. You know, you're fielding, you're striking, you're throwing, you're running. You have to think on your feet.
Tap her back to the pitcher. She'll make the throw over in time, just off the end of the bat there. As Whitty Hooker is retired here in the top of the 3rd inning. Lara Andrews will come up. We mentioned she's been outstanding today. A double to left and double to centre back in the 3rd. That plated the run that New Zealand has at the moment. I'll tell you what, whatever Lara Andrews wants to play in the winter, I bet you she's darn good at that too.
Yeah, Lara, just an all-around athlete.
Check swing, excuse me. I will just about get it over the centre field. Well, she is human. Lara Andrews gets out for once.
Yeah, and as the pitcher, you have to be relieved. You know, you get on base twice, and as a pitcher, you're like, no, I'm not going to allow it again. But nearly, and that's a really hard thing to do in our sport, because if you get on base 1 out of 3 times, you're considered successful in this game. Like she's been on twice.
Twice. She's very successful. Tanisha Hokamo now. She got on by an error of the second basewoman in the 1st innings, and then grounded out to the first basewoman back in the 3rd.
Speaking of athletes, so Tanisha also really into her rugby, really good rugby player. So went over to play some college softball, ended up going over as a pitcher, ended up doing a little bit of catching, which is not often a transition that most people make. And then she ended up playing some rugby, because why not?
Again, you were talking about the ability to play different codes and excel in them and use the advantage of mentally playing different types of sports to challenge you. And Hokamo is definitely one of those athletes who can do that. She's in the hole here, though, 0-2. Trying to get her to fish the end of Parker. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now, Hokamo, fictionally known as Tiny. Yep. I tell you what, there's nothing tiny about her swing.
No, not at all. You know when she hits it, it's going hard, and it's going far.
Oh, Parker rises to the challenge, though. It's a drop ball that falls off the table, and they will retire them in order. I tell you what, Parker is putting together a pretty good scorebook today here for New Zealand A.
Hey, she's got something to prove. She's saying, I'm here, I've put in the work, I want to show you what I've done in the off season, and this is what I can do.
Well, it's a great time to be at the ballpark. The lights are on. The action is on the paddock, that's for sure. Doesn't have to be rugby league tonight. It's fast pitch softball. The Sky Sports White Sox Tri-Series 7 o'clock matchup here. And I tell you what, there is nothing in it. Just the 1 run so far, 2 runs to 1. And as you know, that can go in one swing. So
it doesn't take much. It's a close ball game.
Insurance run time, though, for New Zealand A, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So they're going to want to get this run because they are down to their last 3 outs.
I tell you what, interesting case, though, is the head coach for New Zealand A was one of the assistant coaches with the New Zealand White Sox team, Stan Doney, and he's in charge of them over there. I tell you what, he's probably got a smile on his style having his squad up by 1 run at the moment.
Oh, absolutely. And one thing about Stan is that he thinks outside the box. He's your classic Kiwi, and he likes to push boundaries, and he likes to change his lineup, and he's a very strategical thinker. He will be very happy with his team's performance tonight.
Will he be asking for that performance to continue here? Try and pick up a runner on base and to convert them into an insurance run. I'll try and do that through Pearl Marley Waitford first. Little change of pace, 73 on the radar clock. Tyler Morrison, she got about 12 change-ups out there.
She's had quite a few, but I'm really happy to see her to make it to the 7th inning because we said this is early days in the season, and she's still out there in the 7th inning, which is huge for her to be able to do that so early and at such a high level. So that just means, again, her training, we're moving in the right place, and it's good to see for our program and the game.
So I might joke about the change-up, but she's been aggressive on the pitcher circle, that's for sure. And that's a representative. She's into the 7th inning. She's only thrown 98 pitches, 37 balls, but listen to this, 61 strikes. That's a good ratio.
Absolutely, and that's so good to see from our pitchers, throwing strikes, but those batters not necessarily getting a hold of them, and we want to get ahead in the count, so that's really good to see.
Hard liner down the side, just goes foul. Very, very close call down the line there off the bat of Marley Waitford.
You'll see as the game has progressed, our pitches are getting a little bit loose. When we are letting the ball go, it's going a bit wider. So that is fatigue showing. And so it's really important for Tyler here to zone in and still keep that ball in a safe place, working those corners. The last thing you want to do is throw it down the middle.
This one pops up. He'll go back off the bat and go foul. Well, I'd be tired. 101 pitches so far for Morrison on the hill. She's really put the effort in tonight for sure.
Yeah, and I reckon Roman said, hey, look, this game's yours. You're doing the whole thing, so mentally prepare yourself because Amy just had the game before. This is you. Get yourself out of it.
And Waitford earns a walk down to first base after seeing a lot of pitches. Was looking down about the bullpen for New Zealand, but the hitters are up. So it looks like it could be a few pinch hitters that are on the bench that may get an opportunity in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. If your team's not doing the job, then we will find someone who can. We'll find someone who really wants to make their statement and come in and do something a bit different. Because obviously, we're not quite getting there.
Pick off attempt, and she's back just in time here. Good glove work by Ashley Johnson at second base. Ashley Scott, the catcher, batting now. She picked up a walk in the 2nd and flew out to right field back in the 4th innings.
All right, so you see something a little bit different there, putting the bunt out and then pulling back and swinging. So a slap for a righty. It sort of looks a little bit different for lefties and righties, but again, trying to see what we can make happen. So that defense crashing in, you would have seen Lara Andrews moving in and then trying to hit that ball beyond her. Didn't quite pay off in that sense.
Trying to go the other way, though. And that just, I'll tell you what, we've had a lot of shots that have been just outside the lines tonight, haven't we?
We have.
Those land in, they are double trouble. We saw that in the earlier match with Narissa McDowd driving one just inside the line, and that plated 2 runs at that time. Zealand A looking for an insurance run. Erin Blackmore, of course. Change up inside, misses.
And this is somewhere where Tyler needs to dig deep. You can tell she's getting to the end of the game. It's going to be hard for any pitcher, but she's really trying to see what's going to work for her right now to get her out of this inning.
Apologies, I said Blackmore. It's the glasses that threw me. It's still Ashley Scott batting here. Hard liner through the 5-6 hole. That'll work. They will go station to station. New Zealand A trying to load up the train and ready on the tracks.
Yeah, and well done to Ashley Scott. So we were saying earlier that good batters, you're considered a good batter if you're getting on 1 out of 3 times. So she had her walk earlier, but not necessarily a hit. And then she flew out to right field, so probably due for a hit. So now you know with her coming up and some of these other batters that haven't really been on yet, they're going to be due for a hit. And so really defense might be getting their backs up a little bit, getting a bit nervous, knowing, okay, it's go time. We need to make something happen.
Looks like, so does Stan Doney, the head coach for New Zealand A. He wants to make something happen. Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter come into the ball game. Brooke Whiteman will take a rest here. Emma Francis will come in to bat for her in the 12 shirt with a chance. 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position with no outs here in the top of the 7th.
Emma Francis, another batter you have to be careful with. And this is right where she wants to be. This is what's really exciting for her. You're coming into a game, and you have an opportunity with one swing of the bat to really add to your score line. And, you know, this could be a big moment for her.
Ground ball collision. And we'll wait for the official call, and it's made by the home plate umpire, Marley Waitford, colliding with the shortstop of that play. The Michaela Weddy who called, and she's automatically out on that play. Roman Gabriel's just come out, though. He's going to ask a question. Could Weddy Huko have made a double play?
Yeah, and that's a fair call because that is going to be a big play that gets them 2 outs versus the 1. And so with that play, that is a really good possibility that would happen. So I wonder, you know, how when you phrase that to the umpires, again, you're attacked in that, and how you approach that, you have to be very careful. But it is a hard call because it is a judgment call.
Well, they'll stay on the base pass. So 2 runners on, 1 out here. First pitch pulls right down Main Street to Nanaya Matangi. Ashley Scott running at second. So you can see Matangi there. And just that change of pace, able to groove in an 88 kilometre an hour low lifter. It's a swinging strike. Francis running at first. Check swing. Andrews cleans up shot. A bit of a tough hopper. Knows it's wise to at least get 1 out in that situation.
Yeah, well done. Able to glove that ball. Feet not really in position. You can tell it's getting late in the game. We've had a lot of softball, and feet really not moving. Probably need to take a few more steps forward, but still able to glove the ball and make the play.
Of course, with Scott at second base, she'll be replaced running-wise by Matangi, who'll stay up there now to run for the catcher with 2 down. And it's Blackmore, pops one straight up and straight into the glove of Lucy McIntyre. So the jam with 2 runners on. No bread and butter to put any peanut butter with it. And she gets out of it, does Morrison. She goes through 7 innings of work. She's given up 2 runs. Now she's going to hand it over to her offense to get her out of jail.
Yeah, this is it. And that was still a huge play. You think a pop-up fly ball in the air, but again, you've got the wind swirling around. You have the lights. Those are hard balls to catch. So that was a big catch from Lucy to finish out the inning. So this is the moment, though. You have 3 outs left. Close ball game. Only takes a few swings of the bat. It could be one swing of the bat.
One swing of the bat. You did right, Jen. It's only one run, right? It's only one run. We've seen the power of the way these women can hit, the technology in their bat these days. It is just one swing.
But you never think that as a batter. You never go up to bat thinking, I'm going to hit this over the fence. You just think solid contact, because the second you start swinging for the fence, you start missing even bigger. So,
well, I know the batters are not allowed to think it, but you're the one who's the softball analyst here. We've got McIntyre, Tavite, and Johnson, then Lewin. Which one of those will hit it over the fence? Putting you on the spot.
Hey, honestly, on any day, if you hit the ball just right, anybody can hit that ball over the fence with a good swing. So
wait a minute, did you just put yourself on the fence then?
No, I think anybody can hit a ball over the fence if you hit it right. It's not easy to do, but especially with a pitcher like Lauren Parker who's keeping the ball down, that's hard to put over a fence. And I actually think if she keeps it low, it's not going to happen. So these girls need to find a way to get that ball out of the infield. They need to try something different. They need to get on base.
Lucy McIntyre. She'll be trying to knock Jennifer Ferret there off the fence. Here at the bottom of the 7th innings, it's do or die time for the Sky Sport White Sox team. Trailing by 1 run. Lauren Parker gone the complete distance so far. Swing and a miss on a hard drop ball. 94 on the radar.
Yeah, and that's one of those pitches that has a little bit of wiggle. It was in a danger zone. It went over the middle of the plate, but you'll see that Lucy took her eye off of it a little bit, looked away, pulled her shoulder, and the ball wiggled at the end. So really important. If you're going to throw it over the plate, that ball better move.
Tell you what, though, you look at Lucy McIntyre in the batter's box, you would think that the game's not on the line. She's so relaxed, isn't she?
And that's key at this level, being able to settle yourself and breathe and be ready to do your job, regardless of what point in the game it is.
Well, New Zealand A trying to put the cats amongst the pigeons. It's a double round robin competition, right? They can pick up this victory. As she picks up the strikeout, does Lauren Parker. If they can pick up tonight's victory after the 2 wins against the juniors yesterday, they're in the box seat for the rubber match tomorrow evening. Or tomorrow, 1 o'clock, I should say.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a big statement from Lauren Parker, able to come out and shut down the White Sox team. This is a good team here, and she's not letting them do a whole lot with the bat.
Well, I'll tell you what, she'll have to dig even deeper because it's pinch hitter time. I'll tell you what, when you've got Palace Potter on the bench to bring off in a situation like this, that's what they've done. So Tavite, the catcher, will have a rest. Pally Potter's on now, and she is one of the premier sluggers in the White Sox team, that's for sure.
Palace is someone who has a really good eye and is selective. She knows what she hits well, and she's looking for that pitch.
Gets herself into a hitter's count straight away to a rise ball that just misses the top of the zone. 2 balls.
I think what the pitchers also established in this game is that umpire Andy McManus likes that outside away from the plate for the righties, and so that's where they've stayed most of the game.
Check swing. Just comes back. Good delivery by Parker. 84 pitches today, 53 strikes. She's been aggressive. Talked about one swing could do it. Well,
yeah, well, this would be your player who could do it in one swing.
And just froze her. Maybe Palace was thinking of something different coming there. She just drilled that straight down the middle of the zone, didn't she?
Yeah, and sometimes that happens. Sometimes you can fool a batter, and they're really looking for a certain pitch. And because you as a batter, you go in with a plan of attack. This is what I'm seeing. This is what all the other batters are seeing. This is the one I'm looking for. And then you don't get that one, and it will freeze a batter. So, well done to Lauren to mix it up and throw her off.
Palace Potter, big Wellingtonian from Hutt Valley. And there's that swing we're talking about. Just nicks at the rise ball, though, as it goes back to the screen.
Yeah, she's a batter you do not want to throw up in the zone because that just means it's easier to lift out of the ballpark. So Lauren has to be smart here and keep that ball down.
So a couple of years ago when Palace Potter made her debut with the White Sox against the Oregon Ducks team. I remember seeing her hit 1 or 2 out in that series.
Yeah, she definitely came to light in that game. She was an up-and-comer, but she really made her mark and that stamp in that series.
One of those athletes currently on hiatus from his scholarship. And a hard ground ball the other way. Straight into Bromhead, the captain, and Potter slaps her hands. Unable to get on base this time. And wouldn't you know it, in a blink of an eye, New Zealand are only 1 out away from winning this puppy.
1 out, which anything can happen. We keep saying it. You never know. And 1 out, sometimes it's that last out that's the hardest one to get.
Super mother Ashley Johnson, that's who it'll rest on now. Parker goes to the first pitch. So does Johnson. This could be trouble as it gets through the outfield. She'll round first base and stand up into second. And Super Mama does it.
Well done to Ashley. She said, this game is not finishing with me up to bat. I am not going to be the last out of this game. And that's what happens. You don't want to be the last out. So you're like, no, we're just going to chip away. So now Ashley, with 2 outs, has put herself in scoring position. And her team has a good chance here. So we'll see what Michaela Lewin now does up to bat.
Professional at that needed here from the left fielder, Michaela Lewin. Runner in scoring position. That'll tie the ball game, Johnson at 2. First pitch is picture perfect from Parker, though.
Ashley out on second base is going to want to give any advantage she can to her batter, telling her where that catcher's setting up. Ashley Scott, really important here not to give anything away. Really wanting to seal the deal here.
Change up is good too. So in the hole, down to their last strike here, down to their last out are the White Sox. Parker with the 95th pitch of the match. Just down. Boy, oh boy, that was close too.
And that's what happens when you're up in the count. And Lauren has done a fantastic job of getting up in the count because she is in control. She's in charge. This game is now hers. All she has to do is finish and shut the door here on Lewin.
Other way, who should take it? It'll be Parker. And it's a historic win for New Zealand A here this evening at ELE Sports Stadium. Lauren Parker goes the distance, only gives up 4 hits, but it's the 1 run she surrenders on the back of 2 runs from her team. It's New Zealand A take a famous victory tonight here, 2 runs to 1, Jen.
Yeah, what a game. And exciting for the game of softball for our women's side because you have 2 really quality teams here and both showing up to put on an excellent display of softball.
Well, excellent indeed. You see the Sky Sport New Zealand White Sox team, they're in a huddle getting ready, finding out on whether they should, what they're going to do tomorrow. But they'll worry about that tomorrow. Jen, your thoughts on the match?
I think that was an excellent game. I really would have liked to see a bit more hitting, but our pitchers, I think, both did a fantastic job. Both coming out, throwing a lot of strikes, really showing a lot of control and endurance to go 7 innings. I think Erin Blackmore absolutely clutch with the bat, but her teammates getting on base. But in the end, I think this game goes to Lauren Parker as a standout because she was able to shut down the White Sox and hold her team in there for the victory.
Well, outstanding indeed was Lauren Parker on the hill. 96 pitches. She put it together there with 3 strikeouts. She might have given up 4 hits. But boy, oh boy, when it came to the crunch, she left them jammed. She left them on the sack. She left the ducks on the pond, as you put it, Jen. And the White Sox couldn't get it done today. New Zealand A does. It's the new crop underneath. Boy, oh boy, Rebecca Bromhead said it. Hashtag beware of the young team coming through. It's been outstanding to have you along. Thanks for watching the matches today. We'll be back tomorrow for day 3, the final day of the Sky Sports White Sox Tri-Series, 11 a.m. It'll be the juniors taking on the White Sox, and then at 1 p.m. the White Sox will back it up with a rubber match. I can't wait for that one, Jen. I can't wait for that one against New Zealand A. The complete of course, Sopwell New Zealand's double round robin of the Sky Sport White Sox Tri-Series here on Sky Sport. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you all tomorrow. Good night.